What disturbing rumor turned out to be true at your school? When I was a senior in high school, we had a new teacher join the faculty to teach health and home economics. She was probably about 26 years old and very, very attractive. Everyone was talking about the hot new teacher. As I was senior class president, I needed a new faculty advisor since my previous advisor of 3 years retired at the end of my junior year. About 2 weeks later, the principal called me into his office and informed me that the new hot teacher was going to be our new class advisor for the rest of the year. As a result, she and I spent a lot of time together, at school and off campus, organizing and running myriad events to raise money for the class, plan the prom, field trips, etc. Soon, the rumors started flying around that she and I were messing around. This was completely false. I can say she never acted inappropriately towards me or suggested anything to make me think she had plans for any type of physical or sexual activity. She was a fantastic advisor and always just that, a class advisor. I spent the rest of the year denying these rumors with friends, with teachers and with parents. I was even interrogated by my wrestling coach the day before the district championship match. She and I had a laugh about it at graduation as she had to face similar questions from other faculty as well as the principal. She confided in me that she had tendered her resignation, but the principal would not accept it and said he believed her and would ensure the rumor was squashed. So I graduated and left for my plebe year at West Point, forgetting about the entire situation. At West Point, the first year is called plebe year rather than freshman year. The first semester of my plebe year was moving along as it should, with no unusual events worth mentioning until the final month. Then, in early December, the topic of my high school faculty advisor resurfaced. One night when I was studying, there was a knock on my door and the company tactical officer, a regular Army captain, walked in and told me to report to his office immediately as there was a phone call for me from the Dover Police Department. Now, I immediately assumed it was my brother playing some kind of twisted joke on me since he was a captain in the very same police department waiting for me on the phone. Since my TAC was standing right behind me, I answered the phone as we were taught. Cadet Kerwick speaking. How may I help you, sir/ma'am? I immediately recognized the voice on the other end. It was not my brother but a close friend I had grown up with and known for over 15 years. He said, "My parents took me out of their will, and are giving everything to my sister because of what? Recently I was helping my parents with a bit of late spring cleaning and throwing a lot of old rubbish out when I came across what I assume is the most recent copy of their will. I didn't mean to look at it, but as I was moving it, I noticed in the beneficiaries section on the front, only my sister was listed. Then, I know it was horrible of me to do, but I decided to have a read through it. Turns out, I'm not in it, at all. My sister is listed as the sole beneficiary. She will get their house, life insurance policies, savings, car, absolutely everything. They aren't rich people by any means, but due to the way property prices have risen since they bought their house in the 80s, this probably comes in total to about £500,000, or roughly $650,000. They have always had a thing with favoring my sister a bit more than me, giving her extra attention and stuff, but I've never really minded. She is a bit of a screw up, and if I'm honest, she has needed the extra attention. I'm not going to lie either. My financial situation is a lot better than my parents. I'm engaged and together. Me and my partner have no kids and make about £45,000 each, or around $60,000 a year, while my sister is a single parent of 2 children with a deadbeat baby daddy who owes no child support while earning about £16,000, or around $20,000 a year. I know that is a lot of a gap, and I would understand if they left her a greater share to help her out more, but leaving me with nothing just seems so harsh. Whilst me and my fiancée do earn more, we aren't exactly rolling in money, and even if they had only left me 20%, it would still be more than enough to help me start to buy a house. Obviously this is all hypothetical as they are both perfectly healthy and have a long time in them, yet it just seems harsh that if they were to die tomorrow, my sister would be set whilst I would be left with nothing. Am I right to be angry about this? Should I confront them about it or not? I know it's not my money at all, but she is a terrible daughter to them. Over the years she has lied to them, stolen money from them and me, had to be bailed out, and paid fines for substance charges, and more. And she barely even finished school as well, so whilst she is financially worse off, it's only because she has made herself so. On the other hand, I visit them all the time, helped them out whenever they asked, and went to university, which they had always wanted me to do. I paid for it 100% myself with no help, and it just seems like they are punishing me and rewarding her for being such a failure. They have also always had a different parenting style of letting me make my own way. If I wanted something, I was expected to do chores or get a job and pay for it. On the other hand, my parents always bought everything my sister wanted and never really expected as much from her as me. How is this fair? Update: my parents took me out of their will, and are giving everything to my sister because of what? I found out that I was an accident. Apparently after my sister, my mom had a miscarriage and they decided not to try again, and then a year later, along pops me. Because I was unplanned, they hadn't really thought through their finances, and so for about a year and a half, my dad had to work 2 jobs and has always felt that I made him miss out on my sister growing up, and that because he rarely saw me he has never really connected with me. As for my mom, the previous miscarriage had put her off from having children, and she was content with her little girl and by then and was quite happy to be done having children. I also came to find out that they are both disappointed with me. They don't like my fiancé, they don't like that I live a 40-minute drive away, and they are sad that I chose accountancy instead of doing a law degree. But most of all, They are disappointed that I am not closer to my sister. The same girl who spent most of her life bullying me, who has treated them appallingly, who stole money from them regularly until she moved out, and who I was persuaded to lend £2,000 of my savings for university to so she could clear some debts. She never even paid that back, and I had to get into a lot of debt myself to get through my final year. It's not even like I am horrible to my sister now. I love my niece and nephew and spoil them all the time, and for their sake will help her out from time to time with money for bills and food. Apparently this is why I am not in the will, and never have been, except when I was younger, when custody of me would have been given to an aunt until I was 18. They have never really seen me as their son. I was always a bit too distant and self-reliant, and apparently made it easy for them to love my sister more. I'm not down to get anything, as they don't really view me as part of the family. Me going away for 3 years to university made it worse, but it's something that they have always felt. They asked me if I felt that it was wrong. I could persuade them otherwise and they would change it somewhat. My sister would still be the main beneficiary, but I would get something from them. I just left. I was done with this family. I told them I didn't care about the money at all, and if they cannot see me as a son, then I no longer see them as parents. I tell people I'm an orphan now.